Hello, guys, and welcome to the open mic session with Emanuel Valeri. I am so excited for this event. Ladies and gentlemen, let's begin with an introduction. Mr. Emanuel Valeri is an Italian man, but he represented Denmark during his competitive career and his professional career. Some of his accomplishments include 3 times world champion, 3 times European champion, Blackpool Champion, International Amateur Champion, 10 times GrandSlam Champion, and 1 time Super Grand Prix Champion. Ladies and gentlemen, let's introduce Mr. Emanuel Valeri. Hello, Mr. Emanuel.
Hello.
How are you today?
Hello. I'm very good, thanks. What about you?
Amazing. I'm doing well. Thank you so much. Are you located today in Italy or are you in Denmark?
I'm in Denmark at the moment. Yes. I
Denmark.
basically now already more than almost 2 years, let's say, I'm based in Denmark. But of course, I go often to Italy.
Oh, interesting. So how's the weather today in Denmark? Is it cold?
Actually, today it's not cold. It's about 14, 15 degrees. Not bad, but raining a lot. So not great.
Okay. So with these impressive accomplishments, let's begin with the first question. Where did you grow up?
Well, I grew up in a very small town in Italy. It's called Nettuno, and it's just on the coast, south of Rome. And basically, I grew up there, and I born there, and I danced. Not actually in Nettuno. When I started to dance, I was about half an hour from Nettuno, but all my childhood and everything was there in this small city. That everybody, when they say to me, where do you come from? I say near Rome, because of course everybody knows Rome, but mine
Yes.
is a very small city. Yes.
So talking about your childhood, when and how did you begin to dance?
Yes. So I started, I was about 6.5, 6, 7 years old. And I started by mistake, because my parents was working all day, and I was with my grandmother and with my grandfather during the whole afternoon, and they were attending a social classes. And of course, to not left me home alone, I went with them, and I was just sitting there and watching, and slowly I, start to copy a few steps. But really, it was nothing, just for fun. And then they start to see that I liked it and I was enjoying it, and they found the first partner for me. We start with a very small competition, and slowly grew up into passion, and here we are now.
Very good. So when you were growing up through the passion, and from when you started and when you grew up, what could you tell me about your coaches? What did your coaches mean to you personally?
Well, I had different coaches, but my main coach at the end, if I see the overall career, it was William Pino and Alessandra Bucciarelli, supported together with Hans Laxon and Laxon and Oliver Besserteron. This was, let's say, the team. And of course, mainly William and Alessandra meant a lot, because interesting, because when they were our coach, they were also still competing themselves. So for us, it was actually great to sometimes practice together as well, and see them live, not only in comps and shows, but also in the in practice. So we learn a lot, and so I can say it was a coach / then became friends, and it's very strong connection. And yeah, because coach at the end, coach he covered many areas, because when you prepare something like competition and so on, you need to take in consideration many things, and yeah, they were great for us. So yeah, we had this kind of great relationship, very close.
That's amazing. A lot of dancers tend to, have a feeling, a father feeling or mother feeling towards their coaches. Was it by any chance the same feeling for you?
Yeah, of course, speaking about dancing, 100%. I agree, because they guide you, they help you, they support you, they're with you in any moment, and good moment, also bad moment, because at the end, it's very easy to be happy and everything is going well when you have good result or everything's going good. What is becoming very difficult is when you are down, bad result, dancing bad. That really you understand who is the people near you. Not when you're on top. When you're on top, everybody want to be near you. I think this is not only my case. I see everywhere. But when you are in top 24, the bottom, or even less, 48, whatever, 96, I can say. First round, that is where you really see who is your coach, the real coach, because he will probably help you to achieve something and to go through, your rounds and career, of course.
Yes, yes. So it looks like I'm receiving a question from the audience. They would like to know, so once you have the support of the coach, it's very important. Did you also receive the same support from your parents?
Yes, good question. I must say yes. Both myself and also Tanya, we were very lucky to have great parents to support us through our career. They actually, of course, at the beginning they want the best, but then we were really lucky because they found their place. They were supportive, but not disturbing our, let's say, improvement and our dancing development. So we were very lucky. And I think that also helps a lot when you have parents that, I mean, I must say sometimes also at the beginning, economically, when you're very young, also that is sometimes we try to skip that part, but we must also thank them that they helped us at the beginning. And then, of course, second of all, with the passion and heart, they support us a lot during, I mean, at the end, they were coming in every big comp and coming to watch all over the world. And this for us was it meant a lot and helped for sure.
That is true. That is true. Seems like we have another question from the audience. And this young gentleman would like to know, let's see, how did you and Miss Tanya meet?
Yeah, good question. Now, I was in Italy. Tanya, of course, was in Denmark. And William, our teacher, was traveling once in a while to Denmark to teach. And then what happened, there was this small link that it was our teacher, basically. Tanya moved to Italy, and she actually didn't dance with me first. She had another partner for the first 6 months, 7 months. Yes, so she was already in the studio there, where I used to practice. And I was without partner. Then what happened, she split up, and then she was available for tryout, and then it started like that. But the main link, it was William, our teacher, that he was, of course, Italian, but once in a while traveling to Denmark. So it started like that. Then we started together, and we were going up and down Denmark, Italy for many years.
Yes, yes. So let's move on to the next segment. Let's talk about your competitive career. So, after winning your first World Championship in 2011, how did that feeling compare to when you won the last World Championship in 2016?
Yes, very, very different. So let's talk about the 2011. It was our first award in Moscow, and was it was the unexpected one, because of course we were for many years second, and then I clearly remember that 10 days before we were winning the international in London, Royal Albert Hall.
Yes.
Then I remember to prepare this world together with international. It was a bit strange preparation, because normally you focus in one comp, but we managed to do one preparation for both. And then after 9-10 days, because it was Thursday to the following weekend, the week after, we won, and that beating the champion, the current world champion, and that was for us really amazing. I mean, things that stays inside you forever, I think. And so the first one was probably I can say the highlight of our career, how we achieved it, because again, beating the champion, probably doesn't happen many times that the second beat the current world champion.
Yes,
doesn't matter which category. is quite hard, especially amateur and pro, of course. So what happened? It was just great. The second, we won 2011, then we lost Melbourne. We lost in Australia. We were second the following year. So the second won it, Benedetto won it. Then next year in Kiev, Benedetto turned pro, yes, and we won it. So it was, of course, we prepared it like crazy again, because you never know. When you are on top, everybody want to beat you, and that is the game.
Yes.
And that is the beauty of it, because I remember when I was probably sixth, I wanted to be fifth, fourth, and so on. Then I was second. My goal is to win. So it was actually not very easy as a comp, because we were, of course, not current world champion, but we wanted to have the title again after we lost it in Australia. So it was a tough one, not easy comp. And so we won it, and of course, but not as much as the 2011. That was the special one.
Wow, that's very interesting to know. Moving on to the next question. While these world championships are stacking up, what could you tell us was a day in your life compared to when you were at the top of your dance career? So today, a day in your life compared to when you were world champion.
Okay, so if the main thing is that of course we stopped dancing, and we have a family, so we have a daughter, and now waiting for a second one. So
Amazing.
Already these two things change your life. Now, speak about when we were competing, our day was just 100% about our dancing career. Then, of course, maybe 100 is wrong. Let's say 70%. 30%, we have also students, we had the dance school. So I must say the day was so full that we were practicing, let's say, it also depends from the period, from time to time, but practice time, then extra things like a gym thing beside the dancing. Then, of course, between this, you have the small breaks during the day. And then again, sometimes lesson, or sometimes even research of maybe new choreography. It was all maybe booking a flight, or maybe organizing your day, but always towards the dancing. Let's say, as I said, I can say 100%, because when you're also teaching, is still part of your dancing. So what I say is a day like that. Sometimes, of course, practice. Maybe a little bit more practice, or sometimes less than. So this was our day, and plus the travel and the shows and competition. Nowadays, we can, of course, we don't compete anymore. So all our effort go to our couple. So again, our main part of the day is dancing, teaching couples, and of course, family. So this is the priority now at the moment in our life. And we really enjoy it, because at the beginning, you don't know when you are starting a family, but it is a great energy. And I like this contrast and balance that you go to the studio, and of course, dancing will always be there. So wherever the dancing is always take, also when you're home, even with your daughter, maybe some music playing and she dance. So dancing is back there. So it's in our blood. Me, myself and Tanya as well, of course. So it's now this is about teaching and family time priority, and then of course we have hobbies and so on. And sometimes we go a little bit of gym. I play paddle. I like now. It's 1 year. It's one of my hobby. It was not last year. So this year. Yeah. So it's one of my main hobby. And then friends, of course. Like a theater, a movie. Now, of course, with this situation, it's a bit harder to go out. And
yes.
Yeah, but still home. You can watch a movie and so on. So quite still busy life, but nothing actually really special, let's say.
Yes. Well, I would like to congratulate you on your beautiful family.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So, an audience member would like to know, what was your proudest achievement, both in your competitive career and your professional career.
Sorry, one more time. I didn't hear the first one. Achievement in?
Your proudest achievement in
Yes.
your competitive career and your professional career.
Okay. Competitive, I must say, two. It is the World Championship, what we spoke earlier. That it was, I mean, like probably the top of it. And I will put very near our first Blackpool final. Again, unexpected. So probably that's why I stay so much, is because it was unexpected. And also our first Blackpool final, we need to beat couple. We were semi-finalists, and we are fighting a lot to enter this final. And then we achieved it, and yeah, that was a big thing for myself and Tanya. Then, of course, many others, but these two are the top. And about the professional, when you say professional, you mean as a teacher or as a dancer or a professional category?
As a teacher, as you've been teaching throughout the years, what has been the most proudest moment that made you say, yes?
First, of course, it's a bit through two things. One is the result of your couple. When a couple achieve, okay, I must say we are happy to have a couple in the final of the World Youth, for example, and even winning the national, winning some national around the world. It can be even a final in a Rising Star. So it doesn't need to be necessarily a World Championship.
Right,
even a final in a Rising Star. I must say I feel quite young as a teacher still. I don't, so I'm quite happy when a couple achieve. When I see them happy to achieve something, that is already I'm happy. And one is the result, second is the performance. When you see a student starting from really the bottom, maybe starting from really 1, 2, 3, really basic, and arriving to maybe a top in the world semi-final, but even 24, even 48, and you see the development in the dancing, not only the result, but in the dancing, that I feel very happy. So I must say I feel happy when a student is happy. This is probably a good way of saying. And it's not only result, also performance, of course.
That's right. That's right. Which brings me to ask you this question. You talk about happiness. So I would like to know, what genuinely makes you happy? Happy, it just fills your heart and makes you beam with joy and pride.
So, first of all, every morning, it sounds simple, but every morning I see my daughter, because she is the first smile of the day. Every day I'm home. So this is the beautiful truth. So this is number one, unbeatable. Then, of course, what the happiness is sometimes you don't expect. Can be from a friend, can be while you teach, can be watching a movie, can be being with your wife eating a meal and she say a joke, or it's really hard to say what make you happy. Now, personally, I prefer to smile and laugh than to be too serious and grumpy. Of course, I'm not perfect. I've also have angry moment, sad moment, unfortunately, but angry.
Siamo Italiani.
Siamo Italiani. We have our temperament, so But I try always to have a little bit of lightness, if I can, in life, generally, even in the dancing, because we have already, especially again now this period, so many hard time with this, for example, this COVID-19 that nobody expected. Suddenly arrived this, and sometimes we can't do too much about it. It's there, we must take precaution, be careful, but we need to also have our life going through. So I must say,
in a positive way, right?
Exactly. So that's why I say sometimes if you put a little bit of lightness in your life, help to be happy. And then I repeat, I'm not perfect, so I get angry as well. My students know, so you can ask them. But I try to have it as little as
I
possible.
love your
Yeah.
point of view on a lot of these topics. So one topic that I seem to struggle with, which I'm sure many dancers around the world also do, is what advice would you give to a dancer that is balancing work, school, and dance all at the same time as a young person?
Yes, it's very difficult. I have also some students exactly the same in the same situation. I think the key is the planning of it, is how you divide your day with these three very important things. Because I must say, let me speak. Dance is the passion, the main thing. But then, of course, instead of this, you have to put the school. I'm like my parents always tell me, you must finish the high school at least. Then some people continue university, is their
Sure.
choice, but if is also important. So I must say, school, especially for young, you must finish the school. So dance becomes a little bit less because the time you have to use for studying and so on. Then again, very important also the work for some, I think most of the people, because it's connect. If you don't work, probably you don't have income, so you cannot actually pay your dancing. So it's this kind of chain
Right.
that I really understand. So for me, the best thing is the planning. For example, in school, you are in school from, I just say, from 8 to 1 o'clock in the morning. I don't know.
A certain time.
So let's say this is the school. So this is the moment in school. Then maybe you put practice 3 hours, let's say, from, go out, let's say from 2 to 5. There you have to have your homework 1 hour, 2 hours. It all depends from your day, of course, where you are in the school. And then you sleep and you recharge. Unfortunately, sometimes you would like to have more time to maybe go out and play football, for example. But you need to make a decision. If you are really passionate, the dancing, you will find time to, make
Find
all
time
three
in the day
together.
to make time.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then again, if you need to school, work, and dance, again, maybe someday, I mean, I believe that you don't go to school every day, you don't work all day, you don't dance all day. You can find a space
Certain
for it.
times.
And
Yes.
sometimes, some day will be harder than others. This happened also to me, to everybody. And you have to sometimes push a bit yourself. Don't pull back. If you really want something, I believe you can put this extra gear and extra effort, and trust me, you can achieve it. Some days you sleep less, some days you can sleep more, but if you really want something, you will find the time. Then, of course, you have some difficult cases that really they need to make a decision of what to do every day, and this you can adjust it. But again, I think is all the key is about the planning, really. If you plan your week, let's say, your month, your week, your month, and then of course your day, you will go and stick to the plan. Stick to the plan.
Stick to the plan. Yes.
Yeah, it will be much. Yeah. It will be much easier. Sometimes the plan can change. Of course, circumstances can change, but 90%. Normally, if you do 90% of the plan, you are succeeding.
That's true. I would love to get your thoughts on this next question. You jogged my mind. Talking about passion and sticking to the plan, the passion seems like motivation, and sticking to the plan would be discipline. What do you find is the difference between motivation and discipline? What do these two things have in common and the difference between them?
Yes, so let's say we can say the discipline. I see it. I just give a word, maybe schematic and a little bit more. Yes, it's a little bit more school orientated, schematic, and the passion is a bit more abstract. It's something that is a feeling that you have towards something. This is the first two things. That's why if you put it together, you have a great blending of sharpness and maybe a little bit more round and feelings around. But the two things goes together, because what we do, it is a very difficult thing. Dancing,
Yes.
our art form, some people call it sport, I call it both of them. It's
Both.
art, sport, it's a mix. It's a mix of them.
Yes.
It is very complex. Standard or Latin, both, it's very difficult. Without discipline, you don't go anywhere. You enjoy at the beginning, you have fun, but it depends why you do it. If you want to achieve result wise or good result or improvement in your dancing, you must have discipline. When I say discipline is if the teacher say to you, you must improve your whisk in waltz. He give you the tools, he give you the info. There next morning you have to go back to your studio and do it.
Yes.
And be a hammer, and like you have to be like a drop. If you want to break the rock, the drop has to keep going like that.
Keep on going. Yes.
It's not easy. It's not easy, of course, but some people take more time, some people less. Doesn't matter. Just you have to keep going. That is for me is the discipline. Is to be on what you have to do to improve your dancing. Then of course it goes together with the passion. If you are passionate about dancing, you want to really improve your dancing. You want to see that move forward. So you must have the passion also that affect the discipline. But if you have something here that you really want to get discipline to do this whisk forever, because you know one day you will do it better, for example. So in my career, I found out that a good balance. For sure, the passion, I believe, must always be there. Because I feel that probably the passion is a bit more in front of the discipline, but very little. Because really, if you don't have passion, you can do discipline, but if you don't put the heart on it,
right.
It will a little bit die.
You truly have to want it to be really disciplined.
Exactly. So my feeling is the passion I will put maybe number one, discipline number two, but I must say like that, almost that you cannot see the difference.
Just a little bit.
Yes. And I believe this. Yes, I believe in dancing discipline, and I can say also simple word practice. In our case, it is a big thing. Don't believe just talent can bring you in front. It's not enough.
I love that quote. That's gonna be put on a shirt. Don't think just talent. #Emanuel Valeri. I love it.
I saw many talent during my dance career, friends as well, that they get lost on the way simply because they rely too much. Yeah, but I can do this without any effort. But in a long run, the one that work hard with maybe 10% less talent, because you must have a bit of talent, it will totally beat it. I'm 100% sure of it.
I love that you mentioned that. I love it. Thank you.
Yeah, so hard work, basically. Yeah.
Seems like our follower from Los Angeles here in the United States would like to know, at some point in your competitive career, were you ever a 10 dance competitor?
Yes. Unfortunately, I was. No.
Tell us about it. Tell us.
Yes. So I simply say that Tanya was a Latin dancer before me. She was always 10 dance, but she was more successful result-wise and in the Latin. Myself, yeah. She was actually very successful, like Blackpool Junior. She was in the final of the Latin. She was very good. And myself, I was never a Latin expert, Latin dancer. I was always. Thank you very much for the comment.
Thank you, Mr. Todd Correa.
Thank you. I was always even in my studio. It was a standard studio, and probably that also affect. But I always did 90%, 80% Latin, 10, 20%. Sorry. Let me rephrase that. 80, 90% standard, and the rest it was Latin. And I always did 10 dance because our teacher always pushed us until we were, let's say, early stage of amateur, always to do the Latin, because you learn a lot. So it's very good. If I need to give an advice, please don't stop one of the other too early. Keep going, as you know, and then you will see one will take off, and then you can stop. But it will develop your ability a lot and your open mind, and is very good. So I always did 10 dance. I was, for example, also in Italy, always 10 dance, and with Tanya we did 10 dance, And at one point, the standard was just going like that. And really, we needed to, because we were teaching, traveling, competition, it was simply too much. And we saw that 10 dance and Latin, it was not our specialties. So what we did, we just automatically went to the standard. But I was always a standard dancer, although I did 10 dance. Yeah.
So my following question was, you mentioned not to stop too early. What would be your definition of too early?
Too early, I think, until you are youth, under 21, then you will see. It's a bit personal, but I say, and overall, youth under 20, youth still going for 10 dance, I must say. Even under 21, so you start to have, you start to go to the amateur, then you start to really see how it's going. But until they are 19, 20, 21, I would suggest, if you can, if you have possibility, time, teachers, I suggest to do both. It's great for your development, body-wise, mind-wise.
I agree 100%. The next following question would be very simple. So which of the 5, well, since you used to compete Latin as well at a very young age, which of the 5 standard dance is your favorite, and which of the 5 in the Latin is your favorite?
Okay, let me start for the Latin, it's faster. Now, when I was dancing, the passo was my favorite.
Mine too, I love passo doble.
But now I tell you why. It was very close to the standard.
That's true.
It gave me less troubles.
Yes,
but joking apart, yeah, exactly. So you can steal some tango step and put it in the pass very easily. Always twist turns, But anyway, my Latin, my favorite one, always been 2, is a jive and samba. Still now, when I watch Latin comps, probably samba is samba music as well is my favorite of the Latin.
Yes,
so samba and jive, I would say, my favorite. Now we come back to the standard. Now standard, 2 dances I have. Tango always been my, let's say, favorite, together actually with the slow foxtrot. Yes, I know every time I get this question many times, and people maybe expect to say quick step. I know, because we were maybe successful. Yes, of course. I mean, we liked all 5. But if you tell me what you really enjoyed, I must say tango overall, and the last probably 10 years of our career, maybe 8 years of our career, was foxtrot. It came, really, I really enjoyed to practice the foxtrot. But again, it's a bit hard, because sometimes we were preparing a comp, maybe I need to improve the waltz, and I found a lot of inspiration into the waltz through also, of course, quick step. So I must say, even Venice waltz, some comps I need to focus on Venice waltz, because I knew it was a very important dance, because sometimes out of 5 dances, maybe you are winning tango and quick step, losing the other 3, and Venice waltz can be the one that makes you maybe win the comp. And then during that period, I analyzed a lot. Yes, I analyzed a lot the Venice waltz, and I found so many things. So that period I also enjoy. So it was up and down, but if I see the overall career, I would say tango and foxtrot. It was my favorite. Tango number 1, I think.
So does that mean when you were competing these 5 dances, did you feel the most passion when you started at tango and the foxtrot? Did you feel the most emotions when you did those 2 dances?
I don't know if I can say it was the most, because I felt the same, let's say, emotions also for waltz or quick step or whatever, all 5. But tango, I felt it came a bit probably easier in an earlier stage of our career. I easily attached to the tango feeling. Now, don't tell me, because I remember when I was youth already, if I watch video and think, I had something already there for the tango. It could be something really inside that also being Italian helped,
Giusto.
The fire, the passion, that also helped. But tango always came a bit easier. but then of course, like I said before, you need to also discover and go deep. And we studied a lot also the tango, what we wanted to bring to the floor, and I really enjoy the moment when, because I need to challenge for. We were second, and I need to try to win, the world, European, and so on. And the tango was the first dance. It was German Open. So this also, I have a good memory about tango. It was the first dance we took from the champion, and it was in German Open, and it was the tango. So we always were losing all 5 dances, and the first step towards our, let's say, winning to win the world, it was the tango. So it was a bit of a destiny there, Always enjoy the tango, and it was also the dance that helped us probably to achieve what we wanted.
Very interesting. Still on the topic of emotions.
Yes.
Looking back on your career, who do you feel the most gratitude for? The most thank you so much gratitude in your heart for throughout your dance career, looking back at it?
A very easy question. My parents and my teachers, my main teachers.
Could you elaborate a little bit?
Yes. But my parents, because simply they were always there. They were supporting me all the way through. They never actually stopped me to do something. If I needed to go for a trip for this competition, they were really sacrifice, their time to bring me, or to drive me when I was very young. I remember every week, drive maybe sometimes 2 hours for a private lesson, sometimes all weekend driving 5 hours, 6 hours throughout Italy. So what can you say? If they wouldn't do that at that time, I would have maybe achieved what I achieved. So the first thanks is to them, because they helped me when I was young, and they still support me until the end. Still now, I mean, their parents, if you, they always support you. But of course, to our career, they were always there. And the teacher / coaches, of course, they were the one that, again, without this small team, like I said before, we wouldn't achieve, because you are just practicing, and you are going like this every day, and maybe sometimes you don't realize, but they are living to guide you, they are adjusting you. Sometimes you have hard time, clash, you have discussion, then back, but it's this that creates this chemistry that bring you forward. So I know it is a bit predictable answer probably, but of course I can say thanks to Tanya. I mean, because she was also a great partner, wife, girlfriend, all our career. But this is there. I mean, I don't need to say, because it's for both. I can now speak for both of us. Is our for parents and our teachers that simply supported us all the time. Good time, bad time. Mainly, especially bad time.
Yes, my mother as well. My mother is just, and my father as well. We seem to have a message from my mother right now from the audience. Let's read it. She said, Alessandro, gli puoi chiedere di accettare la mia richiesta di amicizia su Facebook e gli dici che sono tua mamma? Ok, mamma,
va benissimo.
Tranquilla mamma, gliel'ho detto, sarà il nostro segreto, non sarà...
Sei siciliano, l'accento?
Io sono nato in Russia, però adottato da siciliani, quindi sì.
Si sente l'accento, Sì.
Il mio...
Accetterò. Allora un saluto prima di tutto a tua mamma, e accetterò l'amicizia appena ho finito la diretta.
Giusto. Looks like let's move on to another audience member from Miss Lisa Belikov, who asks, what age is Emanuel start dancing?
Yeah, as I said, I started 6, 7 years old, around the time, and I remember, I don't remember exactly, let's say the 6 or 7, but it was around this year, because then I started to dance. I was already competing 8 years old. I clearly remember I was already on the let's say, real competitions, the national, the regional championship, and so on. So, yes, around 6, 7, this age.
Very nice, very nice. Moving on to some stories from your past career. Let me ask you, what has been the craziest or funniest experience in your career, whether it was in an airport or in a dance studio or something crazy happened at a competition?
Many. When you dance for so many years, you get so many stories.
That is true. That is true.
Yes. What? Let me think. Okay, about traveling, I have many. For example, I can tell you one because you are in US, so I can tell you this because it happened in USA, in New York. We came to do this show in Dance Legend. It was, yes. Now I remember. It was actually great event, and we landed. And in New York, you have 2 airports, correct?
Yes.
And I didn't know. So I landed in one airport. I don't remember which one, JFK or the other. I can't remember. And of course, I land. I do the show, finish having the 3-4 days there, and then I need to go back. And I was really 100% sure. I just booked the car to the same airport. I didn't know that we were actually booked on the other airport. We had the flight from, and I had no idea. So I arrived there, and I start to go Terminal 1. There is no flight. To Copenhagen, it was. I still remember with SAS. Terminal 2, no flight. SAS. After 3 times I travel this, I go around the terminals. I ask, so I say, sorry, this flight, and they say to me, I'm very sorry, but you are in the wrong airport. And it was not a great news, I must say. So I went out, I took a taxi, and I said to this guy, sorry, run, just go, drive like crazy. This poor guy was going like crazy, but I didn't manage. So we arrived late, but I was lucky enough to have another flight to Oslo after maybe 4 or 5 hours. So at the end, SAS was very good that he booked us. So quite lucky. It was quite, finished well, the story, but stressed.
And then, I mean, it can be a little tough.
Yes. Yeah, tell me. Yeah. But many stories, I mean, you find during the career like this, or even worse, or even it's many.
Did you ever have an experience, maybe at a world champion or European champion, just right before you go on? Did anything happen?
No, okay. Now thinking about one also was a European Championship. I can't remember which years, but my luggage didn't arrive. Fortunately, I had the tail suit with me, only the jacket and the pants. Sorry, and the shoes. Yes, I had this. I always brought with me. And then I didn't have anything else. So I waited until the morning because they say maybe we'll arrive, maybe. No way, didn't arrive. And I start to go around my competitors, people there in the hotel, to borrow stuff. So there was no, I remember there was no shop to buy. Sometimes in competition, you have this shop. So first thing I asked, no shop. So I basically dance with the socks from someone, underwear from another, shirt from another, and they were very nice to actually help me borrow me stuff. But I remember the feeling; it was somehow affect your mind. I didn't feel comfortable, although if you watch, you wouldn't realize that I had, because the jacket was mine. Pants mine, shoes. So it was actually very good. But all the items, hairspray, gel, makeup, when you don't have your own stuff, really, is probably happened to many people that are listening. Although it's similar, it's not the same. So, and I went through the European like that, and it was not a great experience, I must say, but happened. So you have to be ready and react to all situation you get. So you have to keep going.
It's very well that you did it, though. You did it.
Or maybe yes. Yeah.
I'm sorry. No. Continue.
because now while I'm talking now, I'm thinking other one. This is a funny one. In Japan, I was doing a show. This was a demonstration. So we are in Tokyo, and I do the rehearsal where we enter from two corner. It was two corner, and then we meet into the floor. Tanya
middle,
from
yes.
one corner, yes, and then we meet in the middle. So we do the rehearsal, no problem. Now, to go from corner to corner, you cannot go across, of course, you have to go behind. And, you know, in this kind of, inside the hotel, there is like on the backstage, you have to go
right.
like in a corridor. Anyway, I go there, I do all around these rooms. So I'm ready to enter. And there are two doors. When is your time? What do they open the door so you can hear the, of course, music. When they call you, you open the door, you enter. So they call me, and now Emanuel and Tanya, the tango. I think it was the tango. Music start, and then after a few bars, we need to enter. So Tanya enter. I go to open the door, and the basically door was locked. It was closed. So I tried to open the door. Music is going. So I am just behind. I had no time to run all the way to come back to Tanya's corner. So I was banging on the door, hoping someone to, no, basically they lock it. The only access was there because they didn't tell to the people there in the hall. So simply, Tanya was on the floor and I didn't appear. So what did we do? Tanya actually stopped. She went out, and we need to stop. So it was quite a funny moment because then, of course, they said it was, but I was stuck behind the backstage and I couldn't go in to dance my show.
God.
So what did I do after? After a few minutes, they called it. They opened. Okay, I could perform, but it was actually a funny moment when I went there to open. I didn't. While my music and Tanya was on the floor. Yeah.
We would like to say hello to our audience member, Mr. Ken Richards. He says, Emanuel and Tanya, #1, favorite couple for musicality and more. Hello, Mr.
Hi.
Richards.
Thank you. And thank you very much for the compliment. Thank you. And I hope you are all well, of course.
Moving on to our next audience question, Miss Natalia Rothman would like to know, how many hours a week did you train?
Good question. Again, it first of all depends where you are during the year. Of course, there was time when you are preparing for could it be Blackpool, World, European big comp, Grand Slams. What you do, you make a little bit more during the day. So I would say for sure I didn't practice less than 3 hours, 2.5, 3 hours. This was our minimum, even in that period where you didn't have a comp, let's say, up to.
Right.
So if you have 2 weeks without comp, at least 2.5, 3 hours, just practice. On top of that, not every day, of course, we would have 1.5 hours private lesson, twice a week, sometimes once a week, sometimes 3 times a week. All depends from which period you are on the schedule. Yes. On top of that, I would add at least 45 minutes, 1 hour, again, sometimes a bit more, 1.5 hours of extra training. Gym, running, stomach exercise, leg exercise, physical training. This shouldn't substitute, let me say this as an advice, shouldn't substitute the dancing practice. Yes. No. Trust me, you can run the fastest, you can be the strongest, but when you take the position and you have to do 5 dances, it's not the same. So if you don't have a lot of time, sacrifice the gym. Take the dance, the dancing practice, let's say. And so this was our day. So I will say, let's say 3 hour practice, 1.5 hour private lesson, not every day. Gym, sometimes 3 times a week, sometimes 4, sometimes 2 times a week. So this, but we managed to go, let's say 3 times a week, this extra hour. And sometimes we had let's say twice a week, 1 times a week, ballet classes. Just
very nice.
Apart. Yes. And again, also that shouldn't substitute the dancing. And Tanya, I can admit this. Tanya did much more than me on that ballet. I did. I must say I did for my posture. I needed to improve the posture as fast as I could. So we went together this in a private classes, and we had. But Tanya also worked a lot with her with like leg or kick, leg extension, spine, and so on. So this. It was our daily training, and it was a lot. I must say, it was a lot. We were a couple that we practice a lot. I must say, I enjoy practicing. Not every day. Of course, we also had this day where you really feel tired. So I must say that we were not perfect. So we also had some day so, but overall, we were quite on the. I believe if you practice well and enough, you will have a good improvement in your dancing, and automatically, of course, a good result.
Right, 100%. So you mentioned the physical training and the dance training. Now, how did you mentally train? How did you mentally prepare for a big event or a big competition or a big camp? Mentally, what did you go through? And
yes, interesting. Now, about the mindset, again, is very important. If you are not prepared, let's say focused or prepared, is very hard, because I'm a big believer that without the brain, the body doesn't do too much. You can train the body, but if this is not on, you can train a lot, but if you don't want to do something, it doesn't happen. So mind and body go together. So I would say is quite a good question, because if I would say daily, my mind was all towards, because I'm personally a lot towards the competitiveness of it, even in the improvement. If I see myself, I need to improve something, I take it as a challenge to myself, because I need to improve. This is my drive. So mind-wise, I try to keep the eye on the ball, there.
Right.
Yes, and then of course it's again not easy to do it every time, but we were quite good at it, and I feel myself I managed to be on like that. And if I now speak about competition, it was different from comp to comp. Mind-wise, if you need to prepare a Blackpool and then you need to prepare a GrandSlam, the mindset is different. I give you an example. We went through this changing of system. If I speak now,
yes, I remember.
Yes. So we start from normal final skating system, then you go to a solo dance point system where you see the marks. So during the dance, or also in the past, it was this visual marking. How do you approach when you dance the waltz and then you get 6, 6, see, or you get a point where you're down? How do you get? And that I believe you will learning why you do it. Now, you can of course ask advice. Someone can help you, but the major lessons I had is when I experienced on my skin. Because I can tell you, they can tell me, I give you just an example. They can tell me, Emanuel, you have no idea how it is to shoot a penalty in a Champions League final. Now, I can of course imagine it. I mean, it's tough. You have all people there, ball is there, goalkeeper. And if I speak to Cristiano Ronaldo, he can explain me all the possible details. But really, if you want to learn it, you need to stand there and shoot it. Then really you understand what it takes to shoot a penalty in a Champions League final. Dancing is a bit the same. So you can have help, you can ask people, or of course, but the biggest lesson is to experience it on your skin. So sometimes you fail. So sometimes you go onto the floor, you try, and then you fail what you prepare. But from that fail, you need to be very good and understand what didn't work. So you analyze it, and then you improve for the next comp. And basically, that is the process. That's why the more comps you do, the older you get, the more experience you get, and
yes.
the more object you have in your suitcase, and it's easy to, you have more experience. So we cope a lot like that. I must say we didn't have, I don't know this, I will say, this is a bit personal. We never had a mental coach. And now, I don't know, I'm not against it. So I simply say, if you really need, go for it. If you don't need, don't do it. Don't have it just for the sake of it, because another couple has it.
Right.
Our mental coach was our teachers, probably. So we are maybe lucky because we were not superhero, but during our career, because probably we were so focusing, I had no time to think about so many things. Simply was,
sure.
I kept it quite simple. I need to improve my natural curve, go in the studio, do it for 1,000,000 times. Trust me, then you will see the result onto the floor. Then you go into the floor, comps by comps, you learn how to compete into that floor. Floor craft, the event, you do 1 Blackpool, you do 2 Blackpool, 3rd Blackpool, you start to understand where you start, beginning, how is the music, how the couples around. So this is what I call experience. And if you are analyzing and you spend time on your dancing, you get confident. Then, of course, there's more result, getting better. So I think it's many things in one box that make the box bigger and fuller. So that's why I think the mental part is very important. And of course, maybe we were lucky to have people that supported us, parents and teachers and friends as well. I mean, and couples. Also, our students many times supported us because they knew that before our World Championship, we couldn't teach for 1 month. We had this kind of rule, not teach 1 month before. And they were really understandable towards us. So even them, we can say thank you to them that allowed us to focus on our comp. And that was a mental preparation as well, because we felt relaxed or not disturbed by, external things, because we could focus 100% on that.
Very good. So that would go into that was the discipline in you, right? To say, oh, I have to fix a natural turn and do it 3 times, 3 times. It would be the discipline.
Yes. And this about the discipline. Now I was thinking, I read so many books and many documentaries about top athletes, can be footballers, runners, and they all have this kind of determination and keep going thing. Look at, I repeat again, Ronaldo is one, and the other are stopping at 5 o'clock. He stays until 6 to practice his free kicks. Of course, when you go to Sunday match, trust me, free kicks, he will put it in and he will, score. So simply that extra hours for so many years. So I really believe in that. Yes.
That's very good. I think a lot of dancers could really, relate and hopefully understand. We have another question from the one and only and beautiful Miss Natalia Rothman, who would like to ask you, what's the best thing to do before a competition?
Yes, so long time before the comp is the preparation, but just before the comp, we had our system, our idea was not practice the day before. We never practice the day before the comp. Big comp, we manage to also not practice 2 days before the comps. But if you feel to practice, it's of course good as well. I just tell you my personal experience. Simply because the day before, now let's say 1 day before is enough to not practice. 1 day before, you can't change anything. You go to the studio, you have the pressure of the competition. Generally, you feel something is wrong. You start to discuss, you feel the nerves. So I suggest to have this kind of day to prepare for the comps. So the day before the comp, what I used to do, many times travel. You travel in the morning, not too early. travel early, let's say late morning, so you arrive early afternoon. Then you arrive there, you prepare everything for the comp. When I say everything, iron everything, shirts, jacket, pants, prepare all the shoes that you have, all the items, if you have snacks, whatever, drinks. The next day, you shouldn't think about anything. Everything must be done the day before, so you have no worries. Then, of course, you have time, if you have spare time, just do whatever it feels you to just let it go. Means read a book, watch a movie, have a walk, go shopping, go to the park, listen music. Each of us has got different tools, and whatever make you not even so relaxed, but just happy with yourself, so you are ready and charged for the next day. That is the best. And of course, have a good meal is not maybe in the evening, let's say lunchtime, good lunch, a light dinner with your partner and with whatever people make you happy. So you have this kind of easy day. So you are charging fully for the next day.
You would say to have a relaxed day and do things that'll make you happy, so that way when you go into the competition, you feel happy, you feel relaxed, and then instead of going in anxious and scared, right?
Yeah. Now that I must say, it's not relax is a wrong word, because no one in that competition hall is relaxed.
Right.
Now people can say just go. Even as a world champion, I remember you don't go. I never experienced to go a demonstration competition totally relaxed, simply because you want to do good. If you want to do good, you feel this adrenaline inside the body. This you can't remove it, and this you have it also the day before the comp. You have it also in the practice. So I think it's a daily thing when you are dancing or you practice. So I must say, when I say this day of that you have this adrenaline, but it doesn't become nervousness and this stop you, like, because many times I don't like to say nervousness, but some people like you are nervous about the comp, and this is perfectly normal, because that you are afraid of the comp or nervous. Is how you transform this nervousness in a good energy. That I call it like adrenaline or energy. So that one you will always have, and I think if you don't have it, it means that you don't care about it, and the performance will be really without any meaning. Right. So I believe that the day before you have to do things that just make you happy. That is probably the best way to say that it makes you happy and relax in a good way, but still, of course, ready to compete the next day.
That's true. I understand 100%. Now, I'm currently waiting for this surprise to happen. I am currently waiting, so we will see. Hopefully, this surprise will log in the next few minutes. But in the meantime, I would like to ask you a very psychological question. A lot of dancers, so after we understood your schedule, to how to train, how to physical training, one is very busy. So a dancer that is always in the studio every day, physical training the way you did, may not necessarily have many friends or may necessarily not have a social life. And they would really want one, and they feel like they might be missing out on some parties, they may be missing out on some events. What would you say to these dancers who feel like that?
Now, this is called sacrifice. Now, it's happened to me as well. I need, unfortunately, to sacrifice many birthday, many Easter, many friends reunion or going out, disco. But if you can, or if you have time, do it. I managed to find the balance of once in a while to go out and even play tennis, whatever you know, or go out and have a drink with a friend. If you don't have a comp the next 3 weeks, why not? If you have a Saturday evening free, go to the disco, enjoy yourself. You need to find the correct moment. If you do it 2 days before the comp, sorry, you are wrong, because it's going to affect the comp. So, and it's just a small example, but I must say I sacrificed so many events with my friends, and I not lost, because when I go to Italy, I still see them, and sometimes I message them, but you lose the daily connection with them. And that is the bad part of it. But on the other hand, you gain also, you know new people. So new friends come in, and the really good friends will always stay there. Even if you don't hear them for 2 months, for 1 month, because they're also busy working, and then you send a message or you have a phone call, it's like, you know, you go back in time. So when I go to Italy, I still see them. Even if I go to Italy after 2 months, I see them and we still have fun. Of course, in the past, we have a group of maybe 20. Now I have 2 only, because during the so many years, you lose them slowly, because also they have their own life, people traveling and so on. So sacrifice, unfortunately, sometimes, yes, you have to take this thing that you have to jump some parties or birthday. But I give you now, I think this is amazing. I tell you this story, that Tanya's best friend, Tanya's got one really best friend, number one, since they were very young until today. And she came in all big event, world and European, for our last probably 10 years. She even traveled to Melbourne. She even came to Australia to watch us compete. She was always there. So when we spoke about support, when I said also friends, in this case, she was always there. And for me, this is amazing. I mean, when you have a friendship like this, is like a sister or brother, whatever. In this case, a sister. And it's unbelievable, really. So if you have your friend, they will understand if you cannot see them for 2 weeks because you are in Asia, I don't know, teaching and demonstrating or competing. But and nowadays it's a bit easier, because with the like this, you know, I'm in Denmark, you're in US, we can talk. So with the FaceTime, WhatsApp, you can just call. I must say we are lucky in a way that we can still see and speak with the people, you know. So, but physically you have to make some sacrifice. Yes.
I agree 100%. So before we ask, I will ask you one last question, and then I will check in with our surprise. What would you say is the biggest sacrifice that you had to make for your dance career?
It's a good question. Good question. But big, I don't have many big like a big sacrifice. I have many smalls. Now, as I said before, I could have been maybe few more birthday home. My birthday, my parents, my friends' birthday. I could have some more Easters, because one festivity we never sacrifice is the Christmas. Christmas is like we're always there with the family. So
yeah, that is very important.
But I think this is worldwide. You know, everything. Let's say stop, and this is good. But I don't have a big sacrifice. I wanted to maybe play football with friends that afternoon. I couldn't go because I have a private lesson. But it was not a sacrifice, because I knew that I wanted to dance. So I cannot call it sacrifice. Sacrifice is when, it was something that you had to give up because you want to achieve something, your main passion, that is dancing. So big sacrifice only if I can say it's a family thing, and yes, some festivity with your people near you. That is the friends and the family. That I could have done it much more, but unfortunately I couldn't, because I was either competing or traveling, unfortunately.
Very well, very well. Now I would like to let you, there we go. Okay, so 2 seconds, we will turn the videos off as I call our big surprise, and I will see where he or she is. Alrighty, we will be back
Oh,
in
no,
just
no,
a few short
I'm getting worried. I'm getting worried.
Tranquillo, 2 secondi, I will speak in Italian. Se vuoi un po' di acqua o qualcosa, 2 secondi e torniamo. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, let me add Mr. Emanuel Valeri back. All right, Mr. Emanuel, and your surprise this evening is this man competed against you. You guys are amazing friends, both Italians. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Salvatore Todaro.
Oh, but this is a bad joke because Emanuel was expecting some beautiful girl, and then you introduce.
Because he said it will be he or she, and I was
This one I know.
Close the window.
But Emanuel, is not my fault. It's not my fault. I'm just here because Alessandro asked me if I have some little, story about you or something. Okay, first of all, Emanuel was world champion when I was dancing the final in Kiev. So we had beautiful picture together after prize presentation, and I always watch it with a lot of pleasure. But you have to know that before he became world champion, he had also some bad result. Yeah, it's not that So, and Emanuel already know what I'm going to talk about because
I had many. So
yeah, but one we were in the same changing room in Moscow, if you remember.
European.
Yes, exactly. So Emanuel was finalist already in London, yes, or in Blackpool and whatever. The week after Blackpool, I think, yeah, or it was May, yeah.
It was before, it was before, but we were coming
before. Anyway, Emanuel was already a finalist in England, the big comps, and he was not able to be in the final in Moscow. And I remember one colleague of us, which then he didn't have a so good career after. So good dancer, of course, but cannot be compared to Emanuel. So this Russian couple was in the final, and Emanuel start to kick all the chairs out, start to shout. He met Heinz Becker, yes?
Yeah, I mean, now that it was a moment of, I was never showing upset,
a passion moment.
Like I said before, I also have a bad moment. I'm not the perfect. But that I was upset. But I must say, after so many years, now everything is done. Now with the Heinz, every time I see him, no problem. Now back normality. But on that moment, because you have so much effort and passion, sometimes you can't control it. Also, being Italian didn't help.
Yeah. But you're Danish, my friend.
I found sometimes I find a good balance,
in that moment you had really Danish attitude, really self-confidence. Okay, I say hello to Fiorenza. I saw the message, but also I remember when he won in Russia again the world title against Benedetto and Claudia, which was quite surprising result, in dancing. I mean, you always have quite same rankings. Yeah. That was, from Moscow to Moscow, but different.
Actually, interesting enough. Really, if you think the life in Moscow, I have the worst experience in terms of result or this mess. And then I won it after, I don't know how many years, I can't remember. But it's interesting sometimes,
Yeah, it was great. Yeah. So this is what to say. But yes, we had so many years together from London, from Italy already. Because Emanuel, now you see Emanuel like a world champion. But I remember in youth in Italy, he was not even finalist, isn't it, Emanuel? We had strong generation in Italy. It was impossible to be in the final.
The youth in Italy that time was very strong. We had, of course, world champion, second in the world of the youth. Also in Blackpool under 21, many couples. It's a generation, and like you say, no one is born a champion.
It's true.
I also had bad results. I also danced bad. It's nothing wrong. I was not born, and so. And this is to look back is the beauty of it, that you see all these development, and
yeah, but
you know, that is life. You know, it's interesting.
it's true. But it's good that we say this to the young people, because they think that you're always being good, or you never had
no
difficult moments. So, but many people, I see, they give up. For example, now after this quarantine, a lot of couples stop because no competition or whatever. I would never have stopped, even if I had this.
If you have a passion for something, nothing can stop you. Not
yeah, exactly.
Corona or not. I mean, you do also. You know, as I said before, if you need to sleep less one night because you need to practice or travel, you do it. It's if you have a passion and you want to achieve something.
But yeah, I remember, for example, I don't know if you did also, but from Catania to London, there were not good connections. It's not like now that we have so many air company or whatever. Yeah. So I was going with low cost to Oriol Serio Bergamo in the night. I was sleeping in the airport, and then 6 a.m. flying to London, rent a car and go to lesson. And I was like jet lag, of like I was in China, you know.
But I used to do the same from Denmark to Italy. At that time also, not like today, so many flights, but I used to go to London Stansted. I did Aarhus, London Stansted, sleep in the airport. When I say in the airport, in the seat, not in a hotel. In the seat.
Me too, in the seat.
Yeah. And then travel the next morning.
Yes, and you know, and then we had these difficult years that they put this arm in the chair. You couldn't lie down, you know. Then you had to, because in the beginning you could lie down
like this.
Yeah, but then and then you do like this with the neck, and oh my God, that's terrible.
But this probably. All this helped, you know, everything helped to a career, you know. Also this, you learn how to cope with the situation, and it's true, of course. We all went through that.
And then this year were the best. And also we were in these nice hotels in Blackpool with the moquette also in the toilet, you know. Terrible. But all this, it was a great experience that now we laugh a lot, but we were so much stressed in that moment.
It was not, but of course it was not easy. Oh, when you first time you take the car in London, that you hit the wrong line because you don't know how to drive.
And in London, it's not like in Italy that, you know, you do some mistake and you can survive. You have speed cameras and everything. So you cannot, I receive a lot of, what's the English for tickets? Yes, exactly.
Ruslan.
What to do?
Ciao, Ruslan.
Very well. Thank you. Thank you so much, Salvo, for joining.
It was a big pleasure. Ciao, Emanuel. Salutami Italia.
Grazie pure
ciao Ale, saluta all Dance Academy, Volga, all the friends in USA. I hope to be back very soon. But yes, I think we will have another lockdown, so maybe in 2022. I don't know.
Yes. Yeah.
Ciao.
Okay.
Ciao.
Ciao. Ciao.
All right, Mr. Emanuel. Now I have one final question from a very important person in my federation. Mr.
Sorry. Hi, Ruslan. I saw before.
Yes. This is Mr. Ruslan Wilder.
Yeah, I hope you are all well and family especially well. Please carry on. Yes.
My final question comes from Mr. Richards, Mr. Ken Richards. He says, enjoying the chat. One question. Where did Tanya learn how to make her eyebrows dance? Favorite story and moment was watching the two of you trapped along the wall at the German Open. Instead of fighting your way out, you took a lunge pose and allowed Tanya to flirt with the audience with her expression and dancing eyebrows. Nobody saw the other couples. Could you tell us a little bit about this?
No, I think it sounds crazy, but I think I also remember which part it was. It was in the beginning of long side of the German Open Hall, and it was the end of the tango. I really remember. I tell you why I remember. Because, German Open was very special for us. We were competing against Benedetto being German. So every year I prepared the German Open like crazy because it was very difficult to, of course, dance with a German couple in Germany, me being second, he being world champion. So it's a bit of a challenge, but I must say, enjoyed the German Open audience and the atmosphere. One of my favorite comp. Now, that party was like this. It was finishing the tango, and of course, the audience was responding quite well on that day. And what I did, I clearly remember music is almost finished, and I have this kind of a slow kick in the corner. And I decided to just, when the music was finished, to keep it longer. So I kept this pose. It was a kick forever. Means couple were bowing, and I stayed, and I stayed, and I stayed. And then, of course, audience react. I was okay after a little bit because the couple was going in. They need to dance. I need to move out. So I bow, I go out. And Tanya said to me, Emanuel, why you were standing? Because I got so many cramps in my left leg to hold it. So that's why I remember. Now, the eyebrows, I don't know if it was the cramps. No, I don't think so. But I remember clearly this moment. Now, I think the eyebrows, we should ask Tanya. It was just, again, a reaction of the moment because I really don't know. I was not in control of Tanya's eyebrows. So, but maybe I will ask her next time. I will tell you. But interesting that I remember the moment, and I'm happy that also Ken still remember and he enjoyed it. So I'm very happy to hear it.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Mr. Emanuel Valeri. It is always a pleasure. I enjoyed hearing your perspectives and all your views on all these subjects. I think a lot of dancers could really relate and could really use it for hopefully when these dark times with COVID will be over.
Yes. Before I finish, I would like to say, first of all, thank you very much for all the people that wrote the comment and listened to us. And yeah, you see, he was there at the moment. I remember. It's many years ago, but I have all these, I say stories here
Yes.
in the hard drive. Now, so first of all, okay, say hi to everybody, people that I know, also people that I didn't know before, and stay safe. It's very hard. Not only US, Denmark, all over the place because of this corona. And if I speak about dancing, it's affecting us a lot because no comps, we cannot travel. But it's not only the dancing; it's a bad situation for everybody. What can we do? Absolutely nothing because this virus is there. But we can try to do our best, what we can do from home, but to not get totally down. Although I know that some people are suffering more than others. So a lot of hugs for those people mainly, but for everybody. And I really, really hope we can come back as soon as possible to our normal life like it was, let's say, now already 1 year ago, where it's a lot. And this maybe it also, we could have a small lesson from this, that we were maybe me, myself as well, sometimes complaining a bit too much, traveling too much, this is too much. Then they remove everything. Now we are a bit suffering, crying that there is nothing. So maybe when we go back, I really again hope as soon as possible to think about it, where we were really locked down. That is not fun. And we can enjoy even in the difficulties and the hard times to try to go forward and, try to enjoy life. That is probably the biggest message this Corona gave us. But again, be strong, be safe, and hugs everybody, and hope to see you very soon by person.
Yes. So thank you so much, Mr. Emanuel. Thank you. You have been amazing. Ciao, ciao.
Thank you very much. Ciao. Bye-bye. Ciao.
So thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching. It has been amazing. Stay tuned for our next event, the Marathon of International Champions at the end of November. In the meantime, we'd like to give a final and big thank you to Mr. Emanuel Valeri and Mr. Salvatore Todoro. See you next time, guys. Ciao, ciao.